Broadcast includes affiliate partnerships. When you shop using the links or promo codes we share, FSEN may receive a commission at no additional cost to you. We only partner with brands and services we believe bring real value to our audience, but any purchase decisions are entirely up to you. Your support through our affiliate partners helps fund our coverage of high school sports, student athletes, and local communities. To learn more or support FSEN, visit the link or code shown on your screen.
The reproduction of this content is not allowed without the express written consent of EBH Fitness, LLC.
From the desert to the state line, this is Borderland Sports Report. Yeah. Woo. Lights on the field, Friday night air, sweat in the grind, dreams everywhere, from the court to the turf, every rep, every play, Borderland built, we earn our way, no shortcuts, no hype, just truth and respect, local roots, real stories, what you don't expect, if it matters in the Borderland, we on that beat, voices of the game, hear the street speak.
This is the post, this is the zone,
Borderland Sports Report.
welcome home.
What's up, guys? We're back at it. Hey, thanks guys for tuning in. We wanted to jump on here on this Sunday before the playoff games start and kind of take a look at these first round matchups, man. It's gonna be some really good games, and we wanted to take a look at it and kind of give our take on who we think will win, who we think will advance, and kind of go from there. I'm Steve Howard. I'm joined by
Johnny Martinez
and Mr.
Michael Parker.
And this is what I referred to at the beginning of the year as the voice of the Borderland basketball. We've sat down and kind of taken this year and really got kind of hands on with this thing, and we want to make sure we wrap this thing up for you guys and give these student athletes their just due, right? So let's start in the 4A by district round. First game out of the chute, because I don't have dates and times for some of these games, but I do have the Clint High School versus Harmony Science Academy, February 7th at 7:30 p.m. That'll be the first 4A by district round game that we'll go over. That's be an interesting one. That game is gonna be interesting. So it's at Harmony. Harmony is hosting. It's been an interesting year for Clint, I think. Up and down year.
Yeah, absolutely. They lost a lot from last year, a lot of production, but able to sneak into the playoffs. But like you said, up and down year for them.
This is one of them games where I think this is one of them toss-ems. Out of the chute, this is like I think this one can go either way. My gut tells me Clint, but I could just be hungry. But I kind of leaning towards Harmony Science Academy on this one.
Yeah, I lean Harmony on this one, but certainly wouldn't be surprised if Clint is able to squeak one out as well.
Yeah. That coaching staff has definitely been here before.
Yeah.
What about yourself, sir?
I think I'm gonna go with the underdog in this case. I'm gonna go with Clint. I think this game is gonna be a coin flip, and it all depends on how Clint comes out. If they come out and play, they have a chance to win. Like I said, once again, it's a coin flip.
Yeah, no, I agree. Now, I think one of the more interesting games in years past would have been his next one, Irving and Isleta. I'm going Irving.
Yeah, Irvin's had a great year.
Yeah, 20 wins.
Yeah, I mean, great job by the coaching staff. They've just continued to develop that program, and really, really paid off. They saw the dividends pay off this year. Really, really big year for them. I think they continue that momentum.
Yeah, and you know that this may be one of the biggest turnaround stories here in the Borderland. This Irving program, from rebuilding to a 20-win season. I mean, you can't knock what they did. And I think they'll get at least one more game out of this.
Yeah, I've seen them play on one occasion, and I was really impressed after seeing them play. I think they run a lot of sets, and the players execute those sets. So you can tell that there's a lot of attention to detail in practice. And so, yeah, that one instance that I saw them play, I was left really impressed with their level of execution, and that paid off in district play.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, between them and Parkland, they've been those have been two really surprise teams this year, I think. What about yourself, sir?
I really don't. I haven't got a chance to see one of the teams up close and personal yet. Unfortunately, I can't give a voice on this one.
Oh, I got you. Next game is another one of them. Well, I don't know. It's not. Riverside and Austin. I want to say it's a toss-up game, but it really is not. I think Riverside wins.
Austin's another team that, I think Riverside wins. These are both well-coached teams. Austin's another team that I've seen play and was impressed with their level of execution, discipline. I just don't know if they have the talent to match. Riverside also lost a lot from last year.
They did, and to be in this situation, I mean, it's
lost a lot from
huge.
last year, but a winning culture will continue to breed wins, and that's what happened this year. And I think they're just going to be a little too much for Austin, a little bit too much talent.
Yeah, you're talking about going into the last game, needing to win for a district championship title, and they pull it off.
Yeah.
So I mean, that is a Riverside and Mountain View has been the class of this 4A for a long time, and they continue to show it. I mean, you can see that those are programs.
Right.
Those are programs built on a solid foundation, and I think Riverside wins. You got nothing?
Yeah, I agree. I think Riverside's got a little bit too much consistency for Austin to contain.
Hey man, I'm gonna need y'all to give me some energy here. The complaints we get is that y'all too serious. Y'all try to be too buttoned up. People want to hear your opinion, man. They ain't tuning in to watch you try to sit there and look cute. Give us your opinion, man. Come on.
You talking about Johnny, right?
Next is Mountain View and Young Women's STEM. I think Mountain View wins this one as well. I think this first round for them, they'll be by district champions, and then the fun begins for all his 4A schools. Is okay. We leave El Paso, now what? But I think Mountain View wins that game. I think they win easily too.
I agree. I think Young Women's another team that's just continues to develop, and they saw some of those dividends pay off this year. But I think they're just not quite there yet. When we talk about the cream of the crop, the Mountain Views or the Riversides of the world in this district, and Mountain View also another team that lost some big players from last year, but they had some girls step up this year, and I think I don't think it's going to be particularly close either.
Yeah.
I think Mountain View is going to be a little bit too much.
And another 20-win season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mountain View's they just got a lot of different ways they can win. They don't win just with their guard play. They also win in the post. They got a lot more advantages over their opponent. That it's going to be a little bit too much for them to overcome.
Gotcha. And so that's going to wrap up our look at 1-4A. And I want to now take a look at 5A, right? And what we got going on there.
Tona leggings, the ultimate blend of style and performance in gym leggings. With a 100% fit and happiness guarantee, these are the last black leggings you will ever need. Use promo code FSEN and receive 16% off your entire order.
When it comes to your safety, good enough doesn't cut it. That's why you need the best work gloves. Bare knuckles, gloves for any job, anywhere.
So first up, we got Americas versus Kenya Teal. This is kind of one of those bittersweet games for me. With us streaming out all the Kenya Teal's home games this year, really got to see those young ladies play and watch them over the season. But then the level of respect that I have for America's coach, Coach King, it's kind of one of those. It's one of those things where I think America's wins. They've outside of the one hiccup with Bel Air, when they didn't play their starters, they didn't play all their starters, and they lost that game. They've annihilated everybody in El Paso. You guys have heard me say this over and over again. Their defense, the amount of pressure that they can put on the ball, and what they do to other teams' guards, it's something that you can't replicate in practice.
Right.
You can't replicate it in practice, and unfortunately, I think Kenya Teal is going to run into a buzzsaw, because they're gonna force everybody to have to handle the ball, and I'm not sure that they're going to be able to do that consistently. And so this is a tough game for Kenya Teal, but I'm picking Americas, and I know you gotta. Yeah, I'm picking Americas here.
Yeah, I mean, bittersweet for me as well. My sister plays for Canutillo, but I got to call it how I see it. I think Americas is too much. I think they're one of the best teams, you can, if not the best team in the city. They've always been in talks with right there with Mountainwood and Franklin's of the world with the 6As. Yeah, and by the way, on the topic of the Bel Air game, it's just a lot of credit to Coach King for kind of putting their district streak on the line for the bigger picture, with some of their starters not playing. So that was something that I found admirable as a coach, that sometimes the bigger picture is more important than like a winning streak. A lot of coaches wouldn't have done what she did if they were in her shoes.
And for her, it's they're trying to make a run.
Right.
They still have a bitter taste in their mouth from last year because they lost a game that they legitimately think they should have won.
Right.
So yeah,
a lot of coaches would not have done what she did if they were in her position. So I wanted to acknowledge that. But yeah, I think America's going to be too much. I think Canutillo struggles with teams that press them, and America's going to have no problem pressing them and putting pressure on the ball, and that's where Canutillo struggles. When they were able to upset Bel Air, Bel Air wasn't pressing, kind of sagging off, and it kind of played into Canutillo's strengths. I don't think America's or Coach King is going to have that same game plan. So
I don't think that game plan is even in her book.
Yeah.
To not press the ball.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think it's just going to be too much. So yeah, I think America's will pull away. I think they'll win by more than 30.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna. As a coach, sometimes you sit there and you try to figure out, okay, how can we make this ball game competitive, right? I don't know how Canutillo does it.
It's tough. I mean, I think the recipe always, when there's a little bit more talent on the other side, is to try and shrink the game, shrink the possessions. It's just really hard to do that against a team like America's. Even if you get through the press, their pressure is just relentless, even in the half court. That you can't like just kind of sag back and try and waste time. I think the only way that Canotio can stay in it is if Wilkes and Davila are hot from three, and they have some other production from the other pieces that they're going to have to hit some threes. That's the only thing.
Like, they're going to need someone like Marmoleo's got to step up.
Yeah, I mean,
Big time.
We've seen all year the production has come from Wilkes and then Davila from the outside, but they're going to need another one or two to really, really step up. And I think that's the only way that they can stay in it. And then defensively, they're going to need to force turnovers.
Because the thing about teams like America's that like to pressure the ball is this: they can't press if they're not making shots, right?
Right.
So if Canutile can keep America's to one and done, they get themselves a chance. If Canutile can not turn the ball over, they get themselves a chance. Canutile makes layups, they give themselves a chance. Those are all things that basic basketball, one-on-one, that if you do, regardless of your talent level, you're going to give yourself a chance.
I think another thing to look out for, just with Coach King in mind, and you have these playoff games where there's extra time to prep. It's going to be interesting how they guard Wilkes. I'm interested to see how they're going to guard her all year. I think, we've seen teams kind of game plan for her, so we'll see what the game plan is for that.
I think I don't think they are.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be one of those games where Coach King turns to her point guard and go, shut her down.
Yeah.
Shut her down.
I actually think it'll be Marquez on Wilkes.
Yeah. You want to prove that you're one of the best guards in the city, go prove it now. Shut her down. Yeah. Because they're at their best when they can put pressure on the ball one-on-one. When their guards are staying in front of you, they're hard to beat. But Canutile definitely can't turn the ball over.
Yeah, and I think Kylie Marcus is one of the best players in the city. I think one of the best defenders in the city. That's going to be an interesting matchup for Wilkes.
And she's battle tested.
Right.
She's a 4-year varsity starter. Mm-hmm. She hasn't had the offensive production that she's had in years past, but she hasn't really had to, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't see them doing anything to try to shut Wilkes down. I think they just go out there and play and let that pressure just.
They already have Kylie Marquez just to throw at her, so yeah, I'd expect that to be the matchup.
And they can switch on everything.
Yeah.
They literally can switch on everything. What are your thoughts? Are you just sitting there quiet, man?
I don't want to be cruel, but I'm gonna be honest. Canutile, if you find a way to even make Wilkes make decisions under pressure, I think that's going to be the downfall. She's got to be able to make decisions that are wise for the team, not only for herself. The guard play matchup is going to be the difference maker. Most of their turnovers are going to come from the guard play and the full court press, and the decision making that Canutile is going to be forced to have to make. And unfortunately, I don't think they have the experience to sustain what they're about to go through.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. And that game's Friday. I'm sorry, not Friday. Monday, the 16th at 5 p.m. at America's. Next game is Burgess versus Parkland. Now, this one I think is a very interesting game, right? Parkland's very athletic, right? 20 wins. They won 20 games. They're also in the same district with America's and Hanks, who beat up on a lot of people in the city, right?
Yeah, it's a really, really quality district.
Yes. This could be an upset, man. It's actually
Think so,
could
Steve?
this actually could be an upset, and here's why. Their length could be a problem for Burgess. Their athleticism could be a problem for Burgess. They're not they have the ability to make it one and done for Burgess. Now, do I think that's going to happen? No. I think Burgess will win, but I wouldn't be surprised if Parkland pulled off an upset. I really wouldn't. Probably everybody else in the world would be out, but I wouldn't. I mean, you don't win 20 games and not be a good team. But Burgess can flat out shoot the ball, man.
Yeah.
Their guards are very, very good. Their only problem is they don't have size.
Yeah, I mean, it depends what version of Burgess we're getting, right? You know, Burgess has been a buzzsaw for a lot of the season, and then in a dogfight with Andrus, which was surprising. I don't think it's surprising that they were in dogfights with Chapin, but the one with Andrus, that one, they were down 6 going into the fourth, ended up prevailing by, I believe they won by like 2 or 4 points, right?
2, yeah.
That one was surprising, just when you're looking at the difference in talent. But I think the guard play is going to be too much for Parkland. And they do have a lot of athleticism that'll cause some problems. But Burgess does have some young size that I think can combat that. I just don't know if Parkland has enough offense. So I think Burgess will prevail. I think they're going to elevate their games and not play down from what they have been doing in this latter parts of the district. So I expect them to elevate their play, and I think they'll win pretty handedly.
So I think one of the things you may see is Parkland try to take a page out of America's book and try to put a lot of pressure on those Burgess guards. So it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Hello? Did we lose him?
I'm here.
Oh, he's here.
I think I'm gonna have to go with Johnny on this one. I think if Burgess can be consistent, they'll be able to handle Parkland. I just think that experience is going to come into play. Burgess has been consistent for majority of the season, except for those couple of games where they just came in and couldn't get right, is the word I'm going to use. So they had time to prep for this game. They know what they're going against. I think they'll find a way to be consistent, and they'll pull it out.
Yeah, no, I mean, at the end of the day, Burgess beat Franklin.
Yeah.
They beat Franklin. They lost to Eastwood by 30, but they beat Franklin.
I think their ceiling is as high as some of the 6As, but their floor is much lower.
Yes.
And we've seen that. I mean, for them to be in a dogfight with Andrews, and losing to Eastwood by 30, but then beating Franklin, then blowing out Chapin, blowing out Canutillo. I mean, their ceiling is high, but their floor can be low as well.
Yeah.
And if they get a floor performance, I mean, the door is open for Parkland. I just don't envision that. I just think there's too much of a disparity in talent at every position. But Parkland does have size and athleticism, like you said, to have the tools to cause problems.
And if the uglier that game gets, the better it is for Parkland.
Yeah.
So if Parkland can make it an ugly game, it could be a long night for Burgess. Next game, we got Hanks and Andrews. Hanks is like this Jekyll and Hyde team to me. They really are. 1 minute they look like they could be world beaters, and then the next they look like what happened, right? But at the end of the day, I think they're going to be too much for Andrews. Without a doubt. I more so look at the next round for them. I know they're looking at it, but I'm like, what's the next round matchup going to look like? But yeah, I don't know if Andrews is going to have enough to handle this Hanks team, and they're going to do everything they can to take Gully out of the game. So that's one of these games where they're going to try to take their best player out of the game.
For sure. I think Hanks' guard play is very, very good. It's close to, the higher teams in this district and even some of the 6As, where Hanks lacks is their size. And that's not really too much of an issue against a team like Andrus. Andrus is going to make their money off of their guard play as well. They've got Duncan as well that's solid, that one post.
I was going to say, Sarai Duncan and Gully is going to have one massive game.
Right. But I think, if Andrus had another big to cause some worry, then it'd be different. But just with Duncan in mind, I think that Hanks can game plan around that and be okay. So I think Hanks is going to be too much to guard play. I think they play with a lot of pressure as well. And
it's a deep team.
Too much.
Hanks is a deep team.
Yeah. If you gave Hanks some post play, some bigs, I mean, they'd be up there with the 6As and the top 5As. They just really lack in that department where the others don't.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Sorry. So I think Andrews coming in at 17 and 12 overall. They're a middle of the road team in the division, and I think that Hanks is just going to be too much depth for them to keep up with him. So I'm gonna have to go with the Hanks route.
All right, so that's going to wrap up the 5A.
Embrace individuality with Acolor's diverse collection designed to stand out and make a statement wherever you go. Designed in sunny Los Angeles and handcrafted with precision, Acolor sunglasses deliver durability and comfort, keeping you stylish and protected all day long. Use promo code FSEN and get 10% off your entire order.
6A by district round. Where do we want to start here? Let's start with this, the first game. Eastwood at Friendship, 3 p.m. I don't know how I feel about that game. Eastwood didn't fare well against the top 6A schools here, but they beat the brakes off everybody else, right?
Right.
Friendship's a very good school, very good team. This is where it gets a little...
I think Eastwood has the tools to
They
create
do.
an upset because they can shoot. Their ceiling shooting-wise is high, but they're very inconsistent in that department. But when you're looking at, these out-of-town schools versus El Paso schools, the El Paso schools that can shoot, they have the recipe to cause upsets. It's very similar to like March Madness, right? Teams that can shoot, they tend to cause chaos. And Eastwood does have that. They're going to need a big performance from Ortega, one of the best players in the city. If she can elevate her game and hit from the outside, then they'll be there. But they also do lack, I think, size as well, Eastwood. And I think that's what hurt them in district play.
Yeah, no, it's I'm sitting up here and I don't know, man. This one's a tough one for me to pick. I think Eastwood goes down in the first round, though. That's what my head tells me.
Yeah, I think Friendship pulls away as well, but I think Eastwood will keep it close.
Yeah, no, I think when we get to the 6A, the schools that everyone tells me has the best chance to advance is Franklin and Montwood, right? Which leads us into the next game, Franklin versus Permian, Monday, 5 p.m. at Franklin. I think not having to travel combined with the schedule that they did play and having, in my opinion, one of the top guards in the city, and for that matter, probably in the state, in Della O, plus with everything else around her, right? Like, they've got another guard that can play. They've got size. So they've got they've got what they need. It's just which Franklin team shows up, because they're another Heckle and Hyde team, right? 1 minute you see them, you're like, man, this team is unstoppable, and then the next you see them is like, what are we watching? But I think Franklin will pull it off against Permian on Monday. But the 6A is the first round where El Paso team's got to leave the city off the jump, and so it gets a little tough. Even though Permian may have finished, let me see. I mean, they won 28 games.
Yeah.
So it's not like Permian's not good.
Right.
They're just in a tough district. But I think Franklin pulls it out.
Yeah, it's like you said, which Franklin shows up. Franklin does have the tools to go a little bit deeper because they have size. And I think that's always the biggest question mark for these El Paso teams that play out-of-town teams is they lack size. They do have that. They're a pretty balanced team and with some star power. So I think Permian's going to pull it off, though. I'm not sure if we're going to get the best version of Franklin. We'll see. And I think the best version of Franklin can definitely pull this off, but can't always bank on that.
Ooh. Now, that's a hot take.
It's on the coach's responsibility to make sure he brings out the best of Franklin. So for
Absolutely.
Franklin to have a chance to do what they need to do, they got the skill set, they got the talent. They just need to make sure they come and execute. So I'm kind of like with Johnny. It's on the coach to make sure that they come with their A game, or we see them next year.
Man, y'all talking one and done. One and done. Woo! It's a rough crowd up in here. Next up, East Lake and Midland Legacy. I'm going to pick Midland Legacy to win this game.
Yeah, I mean, East Lake's another team that has talent. I think we would have expected them to do a little bit better with the talent they have. They've got really good guard play. They've got size. So, I mean, it's good that they made the playoffs. Definitely an improvement off of last year. They've got the pieces to make it difficult for Midland Legacy. They can shoot. They've got the size. So I think this one will actually be close, but I think Midland Legacy will be a little bit too much. But I would not be surprised if East Lake can pull it off. They do have the tools.
Pull off what? A victory?
Upset.
An upset? Woo! It just got hot in here. Just got hot in here.
East Lake is I think they're still building. Like Johnny said, last year compared to this year, they took a step. I'm gonna go. They need one more year to get to the next level. We give them a chance to show what they got. They got the tools. Have they all came together and been able to execute like they want to? We don't know yet. If they can pull this off, they've taken a step in the right direction. But I think it'll probably be their year next year.
Yeah, I don't see that happening, y'all. The team's just been too inconsistent for me. I don't think that roster's been maximized the way it should be. I think that they could have gotten more out of the roster and just haven't. Whether that be development or what, but I don't see them winning this first playoff game.
I mean, I don't think this is your typical 4th seed in 6A that usually there's like a glaring weakness. There really isn't with this Eastlake team. That's why the record is a little confusing. They've got size, they've got solid wing play, and really, really good guards. That's why I think they're a little dangerous. That it's the last, it's playoffs, potentially the last game that I think we'll see the players elevate themselves.
Here's my issue. Against the top 3 teams in 6A, they got beat by 30.
Yeah.
By 40, by 30. They weren't even competitive.
Right.
Like Eastwood, Franklin, and Montwood beat them like they were a 4A team.
That's where it's confusing, right? They've got the size to match up with Montwood. Montwood usually overwhelms people with their size. Eastlake has size to match up with that. That's where it's just, like I said, in terms of the bodies, I think it's there. And even though they took a step from last year, I would consider it a little bit of a disappointment because of the lack of competitiveness in those games.
They lost to Chapin by 24. They lost to Americas by 20.
Yeah.
Like, that's already 6 games where you didn't lost by 20 plus.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to think that you're going to go in the playoffs and some magical switch is going to get flipped.
We'll see. I mean, I'm picking Midland Legacy, but all I'm saying is don't be surprised if the players themselves.
I'll be utterly surprised. I'll be pleasantly surprised, but I'll be utterly surprised if they don't lose by at least 20. I'll be utterly surprised. Probably not a popular opinion, and somebody from El Paso will be yelling at me later on, but I am entitled to my opinion.
Absolutely.
My opinion could be totally wrong, but I am entitled to it.
It's never personal.
No,
it's never personal.
It's not a knock against the kids. I just don't. It's hard for me to see a team that has lost that many games that bad go into the playoffs and do that's a 180.
Yeah.
As they say, they are who we thought they were. Then finally we got Montwood and San Angelo Central. I'm gonna let you go first.
I think this is Montwood's year, right? All this class we've been talking about for years. We're finally here, right? And you got Hairston and company, and they've got. I think this Montwood team has it all. So they've got great guard play. They've got size, and even at their guard play, they're not undersized. Good wing play. That I think they have all the tools to make a run. I think where Montwood gets in trouble is they'll beat themselves sometimes. And so if they can keep a level head, stay together as a unit, they should go a couple rounds deep at least. This is an El Paso team that has the tools to make a real run. We'll see if they can pull it off, but I think they'll get it done this week, and we'll see for the next rounds.
Montwood will go as far as Jocelyn Custer takes them. I'm just going to call a spade, right? Everybody talks about Mia Hairston, Jasmine Hernandez, as they rightfully should. This is Jocelyn Custer's team.
Yeah.
She is the best player on that team.
I agree.
And they will go as far as she takes them. Years past, I don't think that she was mentally ready to take that load on. But I saw the change in her from last year at the showcase to this year. That young lady put some time in the gym.
Yeah.
that young lady put some time in the gym. She worked on her body, she worked on her game, and she is a problem. Bigger guard, 5'9".
Yeah.
She can go down low. And so the problem is if you put a small guard on her, she can go post them up and have a field day. She can shoot the game. She's got a mid-range game. They will go as far as that young lady takes them, right? And as far as their defense will take them.
Right. I mean, all five of them. This five is, I think, from a talent-wise, they're the best team in El Paso, and it's not really that close talent-wise, right?
Yes.
Because they all five are great players. You got Gutierrez, the other guard, that's a great shooter, good ball handler. And then Lechuga, the wing, good playmaker, can score on the inside, has good size, moves well for her size. They've got it all. This five is made to make a run. It's just going to be whether they don't beat themselves.
Yeah.
Because that's been the issue in the past with them. That's why they've lost to the Eastwoods of the world, the Americas of the world over the last couple of years. When you're sitting there saying they've got more talent, but they beat themselves, right? So I think they'll get it done, and they have to get it done. I think otherwise it'll be a disappointment with this group.
Dude. Yeah, like 4 years ago, they were anointed as the ones, right?
Yeah, everyone was looking at this year.
Yeah. And they never could get over the boat, whether it was Pebble Hills, Americas, Eastwood. They never could get over the hump until this year, right?
Right.
This year they kind of, I think they got out of their own way, like you said. And so if they continue to play team ball and don't care where the points come from, just win, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. But I think that they bought into the fact that we're going to go as far as Jocelyn Custer takes us as well. And so it's going to be interesting to see what – I mean, San Angelo Central won 22 games. They've played common opponents in Tascosa. Tascosa skull-drugged them both. But I think Montwood has enough talent to win. And I'm not going to put no pressure on them, but I think they can go at least 2 to 3 rounds deep.
Absolutely.
I think they can win at least 2 to 3 games in the playoffs.
Hello. The question for Montwood is, can they get it all together at one time? And right now, I think it goes back to coaching. It goes back to your star player realizing they're the star of your team. It's actually up to them. They can go as far as they want to go. I think the first round is going to be the test. Is it easy for them to get past the first round, or is it difficult? That's going to decide if they can go to that third round, like you suggested. If it's hard, we might have some questions. But I think the first round, I think it's up to them. It's for them it's theirs to win or lose.
You know, it's funny. It's not often that you say that an El Paso team has a size advantage, right? When you get to the playoffs, Montwood has a size advantage.
Yeah.
Big size advantage.
And like you said, at their guard and wing play as well with Lechuga and Jocelyn Custard as well. I mean, those are bigger wings than we see in El Paso, bigger guards that we see in El Paso. And they'll have the advantage for some out-of-town schools as well. So.
And the beauty of it all is that they all can handle the ball, right? And so it doesn't matter for them who brings it up. They can run.
Yeah, they've got 4 ball handlers, and even Hernandez can play make at the 5. So they've got 5 that can make plays.
Yeah, and so that's an advantage, right? So I feel really good about them. I feel really good about Franklin. I feel really good about Americas. Going at least a couple rounds, right? I think there's going to be some surprises, for sure. I think you're going to see Hanks may win a couple of games. You may see a team like there's a surprise out there too, right? So, did we talk about the Chapin game? We didn't. I missed that game, and I apologize. That's the last game we'll look at, and that's Chapin.
Elevate your protein game with Clear Whey protein powder, lactose-free, sugar-free, and refreshingly delicious. Perfect for a flavorful protein-packed boost. Use promo code FSEN and get 20% off your entire order. That's Clear with a K.
Tired of socks that slip, bunch, or vanish inside your shoes? Meet S-Sock, the no-show socks that actually stay put. Designed in New York, crafted for your every move, our patented 3D tailoring and breathable fabrics feel like a second skin, never letting you down. IS, from morning commutes to late night plans, S-Sock brings you comfort without effort. Invisible where you don't want to be seen. Reliable where you need to be. S-Sock, the only no-show socks you'll need. Grab yours now at essoc.shop. Use promo code FSEN and get 20% off your order.
Chapin versus Bel Air. That's an interesting game.
I think it's as close to a toss-up as it gets.
Yeah, that's going to be a very interesting game.
I would lean in terms of talent slightly Bel Air. They've got they're not as deep, but their 5 I think is 1 through 5 a little bit better. They've got some good post play that can play make from that 4 and 5 position as well. I think it's just going to be really come down to who comes up with the best game plan. I think this is going to be a really big emphasis on coaching because I think it's just such a tight matchup. But I would say talent-wise, Bel Air has a little bit of an advantage. But Chapin's got some star power as well.
When Chapin's hitting threes, they're really, really a good team.
Yeah.
But when they're not that good.
Yeah, we've seen their ceiling in some of the games that we covered in Canotillo, right? They were in a dogfight with Canotillo. Barely squeaked it out, right? And then the next time they play Canotillo, it's a 40-point win because they couldn't miss.
And they've had games where they've hit 10-plus threes, right? So I think it's going to come down to which Chapin team shows up.
And they've got some pieces. You've got Samantha Wise that can shoot, Vanessa Mora that can shoot, and then Lewis is the star power that can do a little bit of everything. But they've got the pieces. It's just, which version of Chapin are we going to get?
Yeah.
I'm going to lean Chapin. I think that they're going to come out hot. I think they'll have a little bit better of a game plan.
I'm going to lean Bel Air, and I think it's going to be a close game.
Yeah.
I think it may be decided by like 2 to 4 points.
Yeah. I think it'll be close as well.
Because I think Bel Air will be able to sustain the pressure.
So you going with who, Steve?
Bel Air.
And you're going with who, John?
I'm going with Chapin. I know I said Bel Air's got a little bit more talent, but I think Chapin's going to pull it off.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go with Steve. I think Bel Air is gonna be a little bit more. You going with Chapin? You Chapin?
No.
Okay.
I'm joking. He just gave you the kiss of death, Bel Air.
Oh yeah, because every time I pick something, it doesn't go right. I'm gonna go with Bel Air. I think Bel Air is gonna be I think it's gonna go down to the wire. It's gonna be a 3-point game max. I think Bel Air will pull it out in the end. A lot of it's going to be because Chapin, they're either going to be hitting or they're not going to be hitting. Like you said, when we saw them in Canotillo, one night we saw them, they were hitting, and one night we saw them, they weren't. if they're not hitting their threes, I think it just changes the chance of them winning. I think Bel Air will be able to sustain because they can score inside and out. So I'm gonna go with Bel Air as well.
I agree with that last sentiment. You said Bel Air can score inside and out. That's the difference between them and Chapin, I think. But this is why I mentioned game plan. I've seen Bel Air play a couple times, and one of them being when Canotio upset them in the Bel Air tournament. It's going to be interesting to see if Bel Air comes out with the right game plan. Against Canotio, they were not pressing at all, playing 2-3, and Canotio beat them from the outside, actually. Made a lot of threes. Wilkes and Davila hit a lot of threes, and that was the recipe for Canotio. Chapin does everything that Canotio does better, right? They've got more shooters, not just two. They've got more ball handlers. So it's going to be important that Bel Air comes out with the right game plan and concentrates on that shooting. Because if they don't, they sag off or they're in a 2-3 zone, not pressing. Well, then I think Chapin's going to have their way. So that's why I say game planning, and we'll have to see.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, we can armchair quarterback this to death, but those young ladies got to go out there and play right.
Right.
For all these games. And it's going to be exciting to see who steps up to the spotlight and who doesn't. Which kind of leads in, I mean, there's a couple of things to watch for, right? First being, can Montwood extend their 15-game win streak? I think they can. Going into the play, I think they can. Does America's pressure defense dictate playoff tempo? If it can, they give themselves a really good shot because, I mean, you know, they're not the biggest team, right?
Right.
But they've got very good dynamic guard play. Is Burgess one of the hottest teams entering the playoff bracket? And then I think this is most important. Which 6A team survives the early gauntlet, right? And then who becomes this year's surprise playoff run story? Those are all storylines to watch as these playoffs kick off. So I'm excited. I'm excited for these players, these schools, and the programs. I really am. You guys got anything you want to say in closing?
If we picked you or we didn't pick you, we wish everybody good luck. Hey, we're going towards that time of year where the intensity level picks up for everybody. It's show and tell time. So good luck to everybody, and we'll see y'all after the first round.
Yeah, good luck to all the girls.
Yeah, for sure. Barring everybody's schedule, we may try to jump back on here after because I guess it would be after the area round. Maybe next weekend, jump back on and see how close we were and see who's left and who survived. But no, folks, thank you guys for tuning in and watching. It's been another episode of Borderland Sports Report. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you, Mr. Parker, for the support all season long. And it's been real. It's been fun. We're out.
When the lights go out and the noise fades low, still stories left that the numbers don't show. Every grind, every town, every mile we roam. Borderland voices, this is home. No headlines missed, no moment too small. From the rise to fall, we cover it all. If it moves the game, then you know we're there. Truth in the word, respect in the air. This is more than a score, more than a play. Borderland Sports Report, every day.